Hello guys! Today's video is something that I think I should have made as my first video. But nonetheless, we are here today to talk about the history of Goth. Goth 101. And this will be like a very much a history lesson. So if you're a history nerd like I am, sit down, grab your little notebooks, and let's get started with this. So, firstly, I want to give a disclaimer. All the pictures that I'll be using in this video are not mine. I found them on Pinterest or in Google, and all the information that I have written down is found on Google. So you can do your own research. You'll find the same things. So let's get started. Firstly, let's talk about the early days. The history of Goth, the early days. Okay, this is chapter 1. So, Goth started as a musical and a political movement in late 70s, early 80s. It stemmed from punk, which really influenced a lot of the Goths, early Goths, and in their self-expression. But it took more of a romantic approach to punk. Because if we imagine punk, this is how punk looks, if nobody knows. Goth is like a little bit more softer, a little bit more dark and romantic and lacy and things like that. But because it is a musical subculture, we do have like the pioneers of Goth, right? So the first song, this is attributed to the band Bauhaus. So the first Goth song, it sounds something like this. Let me describe it for you. Close your eyes and imagine that you just put on a song. And it starts off very weirdly. It sounds unsettling in a way, and it sounds like there are metal pipes falling, and there's like rattlesnakes around you, and like you're in a tower somewhere. And the intro is drawn out long. Yeah, the song is 9 minutes. And if you haven't yet clocked on, I'm talking about Bauhaus's Bela Lugosi's Dead. Yeah, that is widely known as the first ever Goth song. Talking about that, we have to get on to chapter 2. So I made this little chart which shows what I really perceive Goth music as, because Goth music, it isn't just one thing. It's so many different things, but it all stemmed from punk. So the main subgenre of Goth music is post-punk, obviously. But as we can see, the umbrella, it is Goth rock. And that is how a lot of people who are not very much into the Goth community describe Goth music, right? They describe it as Goth rock because it sounds rocky and Goths listen to it. So, as we can see under the umbrella, there are plenty of subgenres of music. So the subgenres are cold wave, dark wave, ethereal wave, death rock, post-punk, and stuff like that, okay? So, this term was coined by a music expert, critic named Jonas Stickley. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I am not good with names and I am dyslexic. So, the first, like the pioneers of the Goth music without Bauhaus, are considered to be Susie and the Banshees, Joy Division, The Cure. Some contribute to Birthday Party, some don't. It's a bit less known. So, yeah. Okay, and that I guess is that for the... Okay, so chapter 3. Gothic literature. Did I say that right? I'm very struggling with that word. I have dyslexia, so... Okay, I will be reading this just so I would get all the facts straight. Okay? Okay. First work of literature to call itself Gothic is Firenze's Walpole's Castle of Otranto. The book influenced so many 19th century poets and novelists, such as Mary Shelley, Walter Scott, Charles Martin, and Hoffman. Very well known writers, right? The early Victorian period also brought many beloved Goth literature icons, such as Charles Dickens, the Bronte sisters, and every Goth's favorite, Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, we love him. We love him so much. Most famous Gothic movie director and producer is Tim Burton, and I definitely know that you know him. He brought us movies like Coraline, Corpse Bride, Beetlejuice. He brought us the newest Wednesday adaptation, and I didn't really like that one, but that's beside the point. Let's go on to chapter 4. Chapter 4. We are going to be talking about where did the Gothic fashion come from and its inspirations. So as we know, Goths did draw a lot of their inspiration from punk because that is the father subculture that Goth came from, right? So mixing that with some decades fashion from like the Gothic era, the Romantic era, the Victorian era, and even some medieval elements, the Goths mixed those two, and now you have the OG trad Goth. They used to rock big hair, beautiful makeup that they would do with, I can't even tell you how they did it because makeup was so hard to find back in the days, especially Goth makeup. I am so glad I don't have to go through that. Oh my god. Me and my eyeliner, I could never break up with my eyeliner. Okay, I had to, I'm sorry. They ripped up fishnets. They used to wear rosaries as accessories to piss off Christians because it was a rebellion. The look was to rebel against the machine. Rage against the machine. Yeah, I had to put in that reference in there too. Of course I did. And yeah, a lot of the Goths, they used lace, but they also used leather. They used spikes and studs and rosaries. They used pentagrams and pagan symbols and ankhs, like I got one right here, and a lot of fetish things in their outfits. Some of the most popular are still like chokers and leather wear, big boots and heels. And yeah, they all mixed that up together. And then following the 90s, there came another big boom of Goth, which was the Romantic Goth. But I will get in the subtypes of Goth in another video, so stay tuned for that. Let's get on to the last chapter. Chapter 5. Goth values. So, as we all have already disclosed, Goth does stem from punk. And like I said at the start of the video, Goth is a music and a political movement who stemmed from punk. So a lot of the Goth values are similar as punk, not really the same. While some Goths do preach anarchy, that is very much a personal preference, and most Goths actually lean towards the leftist or non-political side. But to be considered actual Goth, you do have to be a respectful, anti-fascist, anti-racist, anti-bullying, pro-LGBTQ, pro-human rights, pro-feminism, just like basically be a basic, decent human being. Yeah? I feel like, yeah, that is what Goth stemmed from. And a big pet peeve of mine is that people don't talk about that anymore. And the ones that do, they all get like little views. And I feel like bigger content creators should talk about that. Yeah. So those are the goth values, and I guess we gotta go to the summary of the video. So to sum up, I hope you learned something new. I hope you learned something exciting. This was like a really like bones of the subculture, because I do want you to do your own research. My my goal isn't to give everything to you on a silver platter. My goal is to make you want to learn more, especially about the literature and music. And I will make a different video about music in the future, so you should stay tuned for that. But truly, I hope you found this video valuable. Please let me know if I missed anything. Please let me know what else you would like to hear. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Click like, share, send to your grandmother to scare her. And yeah, that's that for today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!